Every day, charities all over the world help to improve the lives of our people and give hope to the many hopeless among our nations. This 24-hour period is being observed as International Charity Day. And as we honor the important work of many charities across the world, you're being encouraged to volunteer your help to someone in need. Today we sit with some parents as they provide parental strategies for coping during the academic period. And with students absolutely enthused about the new academic year, we want to help with the back-to-school preparations. Hi, I'm Theodore Henry and this is Jamaica Magazine. You can't afford to miss anything from today's show, so do stay with us.
Did you know that in a recent survey done by the OCA in schools across Jamaica, 43% of the students received inappropriate messages from strangers? The OCA wants you to be smart online. Never speak to persons you don't know. Parents, encourage your children to be social but be smart.
This message was brought to you by the Office of the Children's Advocate with support from UNICEF.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, September 5. More Jamaicans are finding jobs through the state's Overseas Employment Program. For the April to June 2018 period, 7,194 Jamaicans got jobs. That's a 5.6% increase over the corresponding period last year.
Since July 2018, 1,295 additional individuals have been recruited, of which about 100 have already been placed on farms in the United States of America and continue to be placed. Based on my recent visit with the U.S. Departments of Labor and Homeland Security, we also expect new employers to come on board, possibly yielding 200 more new recruits. As we accelerate marketing strategies for the program, opportunities in the U.S. care and construction industries are being discussed.
Labor and Social Security Minister Shahini Robinson was speaking Tuesday at a quarterly press briefing. She said the ministry would also be rolling out a comprehensive public education campaign later this month to address recent incidents of employment scams.
We will pay special attention to rural communities which are particularly susceptible to these nefarious activities. This will be accompanied by ramping up our synergies with the security forces in an increased effort to eradicate this scourge.
The Ministry of Health has ramped up its mosquito control activities in anticipation of an increase in mosquito-borne diseases during the rainy season. Among the activities are fogging, destruction of breeding sites, home inspections, and the rollout of a public education campaign. These measures follow the confirmation of a dengue hemorrhagic fever-related death in Trelawney in late August. Dengue fever is a mosquito-borne disease that is usually a mild illness in which a person may get a fever, headache, joint, and muscle pains. Rest, adequate hydration, and paracetamol are usually enough to see one through the period of illness. Dengue hemorrhagic fever, however, is a rare complication which results in internal bleeding and bleeding under the skin, which can lead to death. Immediate medical attention should be sought once an infected person begins to vomit, have severe abdominal pain, feel very weak, or gets confused. Members of the public are being encouraged to minimize their exposure to mosquito-borne diseases by monitoring their surroundings for potential mosquito breeding sites, wearing protective clothing, and using mosquito repellent with DEET. Education Minister Senator Ruel Reid says the state is prepared to offer full scholarships to young people involved in criminal activities as part of its intervention for unattached youth. Senator Reid says his ministry will be working with members of Parliament and the Ministry of National Security to give young people training opportunities.
And so I call upon all the shutters, therefore, who are ready to go back to school. Let us know from the Ministry of Education. Talk to your pastor, talk to the leaders in your community, and we're prepared to assist you to place you at any of our public universities, whether the Caribbean Maritime University, University of Technology, or the University of West Indies.
The minister was speaking during a back-to-school readiness tour at Tarrant Primary on Tuesday. He called on youngsters to reach out to the government for assistance.
Write to us at the ministry through the regional offices, but we'll be very happy. Work with your member of parliament and let them bring information to us.
In addition to touring Tarrant Primary, Minister Reid also paid visits to Wilmer's Boys High, as well as Excelsior and the Jessie Ripoll Primary Schools this week. Nominations for the 2018 Prime Minister's National Youth Awards for Excellence will open on September 6 and run until October 5. This year's awards will focus on nation builders and youth leaders. As he disclosed at the opening of this year's awards, the State Minister of Education, Youth and Information, Floyd Green, urged applicants to submit their nominations early.
We know that a number of our young people are shining right across Jamaica, and we're saying to Jamaica, nominate our youth. Put them out there, let us get the applications so we can vet and see who are qualified to be awarded.
Application forms can be retrieved from moey.gov.jm or youthjamaica.com. The Prime Minister's National Youth Awards for Excellence was introduced in 1998 to recognize young Jamaicans who have excelled and contributed to national development. And finally, Prime Minister Andrew Holness is now in Barbados for the 9th Prime Ministerial Subcommittee on the CARICOM Single Market and Economy, CSME. Mr. Holness, who is chairman of the regional grouping, is expected to discuss issues affecting the implementation of the CSME. The subcommittee meeting follows July's Conference of the Heads of Government of CARICOM regular meeting. Prime Minister Holness returns to the island on Thursday. During his absence, National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang is in charge of the government. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
Jamaica Social Investment Fund, JSIF, celebrating over 20 years of investment in community development. JSIF has forged relationships with international funding partners as well as private and public sector entities. Let us continue to invest to reduce vulnerabilities. Let us build our social capital and resilient infrastructures to ensure full participation in Vision 2030. JSIF, investing for community development.
It's always about how students cope with and prepare for going back to school, but our parents are equally important. Watch these caregivers as they give advice to other parents on how to cope with the back-to-school process.
6 parents, all passionate about their children's education, not dismayed by the cost for schooling or the frustration that can come with managing parenthood and work. They provide some important advice for the academic year.
First of all, I would ask them to look at their budget and also to prepare the child mentally to accept the things that they are unable to afford. For instance, a change of sporting gear. It might be important to the child or most important to the child, but the child might be able to go on with the sporting gear that is coming from last year. But the child would definitely need a new school shoe and also need the new books that will be used in the current school year.
But what I do, I run ward. In the night, I go to my grandson's room and I make sure he's in bed by 9. In the morning, we don't have an alarm clock, that doesn't work. I am the alarm clock. I wake up and I wake him up and I stand up and see to it that he's up. Because if I wake him and leave from his room back to the bed.
What would I do is normally like get everybody, set out everything the night before, everybody put everything in place, and then in the morning now, I just wake up, I look for after breakfast, everybody get bathed and get themselves ready, and we're just off to school.
Orientation days are very important, just as PTA. You get a chance to meet the teacher, and you get a chance to spend the day with your child. You walk with him, You look at the classrooms, and you just go around, make him feel comfortable on that first day. You beg a boss sometime if you're working and ask to be available on orientation day so you can get involved with the child.
To carry the child to orientation, you need to know all the child teachers. Especially at high school, you have several different teachers. Get to know each teacher so that you could get a contact number that if anything goes wrong, whether wrong or right, you still call and check up on your child that way. Because especially for the moms that work, that you can't be at school all the time, you can make a call to teacher, Miss, how is my son, how is Javon is doing? So you can do things like that.
First PTA meeting, be available. That is less pressure for you too, because sometimes the books that you purchase are not used in the school. So you have to be at the PTA meeting to know what is happening. PTA meeting is very important as a parent.
Come to the PTA, because the PTA can help you us to learn more about your children, what is going on in school, the strategy that we can use to help each other as parents. Because sometimes when you come to the school, other parents have the same type of tragedy or problem that we have. So when we share with each parents and share with each other, we'll better manage.
Just know that this is our duty as a parent, and what we have to do is just not to look at it as a challenge, but to look at it as one of the things that we have to face. So don't worry about it too much, just get the things done.
Time planning is a critical factor, because how you manage your time, it gives you the opportunity to better cope with the challenges that are ahead. And in terms of the frustration, I would advise that you be relaxed mentally. I know it's hard, because especially when there are financial constraints, but be relaxed and face the reality within yourself. If you're unable to go the extra mile at the moment, you are just unable. So you put in place mechanism that will mitigate the effects of you being in a place of uncomfortableness.
Because I'm a parent mentor, I treat myself by helping other parents. I have a little group, my colleagues and I, where we accumulate books. So we help our parents that we mentor also. And that is delightful for me. That is a passion. Because I couldn't tell last I got.
Yes, we have to find time for ourselves. So to unwind, oh my God, that's very hard sometimes to do. But you have to take a little time for yourself. You know, even a weekend, you know, you get your children over to their aunt or their grandma. And just take a little time for yourself. Take a day or two. Just go to the beach. Just take some time for yourself, even to just sleep.
Don't allow your stress to be the most important side in terms of how you operate. Because I tell you what, I can't find $1. And boy, life is so hard. And boy, it is so rough. I can't even find time to smile. I can't even find to share a light moment. No. You have to find time to make yourself comfortable. So share a joke with your own child. Share a joke with your peers. Remember some very enjoyable time back in your days, and share it with your children. Share it on the corner with your friends. Share it with the people that you meet on the bus. And that will just de-stress some of the tiresome days of poor management of money, the tiresome days of, the unfortunate forthcomings of you're unable to buy that new book or that new school shoes.
The business process outsourcing BPO sector, employing more than 6,000 Jamaicans, putting the youth at work.
The kinds of work we are doing right now in Jamaica through our 40 companies established in this industry include applications like Netflix, applications like Amazon. So you're speaking to people about their credit cards. We are doing applications like tech support. So if you have a problem with your iPhone, iMac or laptop, technical questions, those questions are being answered in some of our BPO operations. That's not a sweatshop.
Humana has over 400 agents here that when people call the US to query about their health plan, those calls are being handled in Jamaica. That's not low-end, that's not, you're working for one of the largest healthcare companies in the world.
The local BPO industry, creating employment, boosting the economy.
So congrats, you've been successful at the CXC exams and you're now on your way to 6th form. But as you make that step, we want to help you with the transition. That's next.
We've all been there. As our academic careers unfold, we have many transitions, from basic school, then to primary school, and then to high school.
College is usually the next step, but wait, there's another shorter transition between those main high school years and the university campus.
Sixth form is considered as that transition period. It is a period within which the students are moving from a kind of school feeding type of education to one where they now have to do more critical thinking, they have to do additional research, and they have to pretty much function at a different level as they prepare themselves for the next stage in their education. Students are actually exiting secondary level at a younger age, some at age 15, some at age 16. And in accordance with our regulation, there would be 2 additional years that they should really be within the school system. And so the sixth form program provides those 2 additional years for the students to develop the level of maturity that is required for them to move on to tertiary level institutions or for them to move into the world of work.
But apart from developing your maturity, sixth form is where you prepare to sit those critical CAPE subjects.
After sixth form, I would like to go to the UA Mona to study medicine, and UA requires CAPE, so that is why I really want to do CAPE.
And before you even get to university, the CAPE program will allow you to develop critical thinking and leadership skills because you're most likely to be selected to be student leaders for the lower school.
I was a prefect at the Edwin Hallin High School. And from the CAPE program, I've learned leadership skills. And along with being a prefect, I've learned to be on time, punctual actually, right? I've learned to be punctual. And along with that, I've been a peer council coordinator. I've been the project manager for the Key Club.
It is very important that as students are being prepared to become adults, that they are fully rounded in different areas. And the academics, while it is extremely important, it is also very important that they are involved in some kind of cultural or socially related activities, sports included, for their development.
While I was attending the Portmore Community College, I was involved in female football team, cheerleading, as well as drama. But doing these extracurricular activities, I was nervous. I didn't know how to manage my time. But as time goes by, I know also do the most important stuff first.
But despite the various opportunities that you can receive from the sixth form program, the transition can be difficult to navigate at first.
Well, I'm extremely nervous about sixth form. I know that I have to put in extra work, because it's not that easy as CXC, as everyone is saying. But I'm kind of looking forward to it.
So if you're like Gabriel and you're feeling the nerves, fret not. You have nothing to worry about.
Now, sixth form is sometimes seen as a status symbol. So if you're in sixth form, it simply means that you would have done exceptionally well. So it is a time when our students should settle down, they should relax, and they should work as hard as they possibly can.
For those who are nervous and don't know what to expect, overall, I would say that CAPE is actually a very good program. It prepares you for university, and it prepares you for life on a whole.
After doing our 6, I would say, try it. It's very exciting. It's new. It will take you to the next step of your career because, you know, most universities requires CAPE. So it's very good. I enjoyed it.
If the 6th form program is what awaits you this September, embrace the opportunities it has to offer. All you have to do is have an open mind, work hard, get involved, and manage your time well. All the best.
Let's get a little breeze on this land. All right. Now let's get some bounce in the rhythm. All right. Let's get some fire on our hearts. Now that is what we call all right. Run, come, get some Jamaica.
It seems simple when you look at it. It moves from red to green and then amber. But understanding the technology behind the stoplight may not be so simple. With the reopening of schools and the inevitable traffic buildup, you might experience greater waiting time at the stoplights. But without the modern technology behind the system, your wait could be longer and the congestion much worse. Take it. Stoplight is next.
Traffic signal, as we refer to it as, it's a system of electronic controls that we use to assist in managing traffic at particular locations along our corridors. In managing the flow, there's a system. We have mast arms. We have the signal heads. Signal heads are what you see, the lights, whether green, amber, or red. We have wires that are connected to a control box. The control box has a number of components that assist us in managing the flows through the intersection or junction. Now, before we actually signalize an intersection or a junction, we do traffic counts. So we know where it is the bulk of the vehicles are coming from or they're heading to. You want to have that information so that in setting the timings, in rehearsing the timings for persons to go through, you know what amount of green time you're going to be giving to a particular phase of the intersection as opposed to another. Our traffic signals, the systems are on a fiber optic network that is actually right across the country. So we have a combination of fiber and microwave links that we're using to roll out what we call a public safety network. And the systems that we have been incorporating our camera systems with these, and so we're able to monitor traffic through our traffic management center that we have at the corporate office 140 Maxfield Avenue, and it gives us the ability to change the timings that we have at these locations remotely. In other words, we don't have to have our officers physically going to the location, changing the timings.
In the Traffic Management Center, we have something called QuickNet. So in present day right now, this is what we use to remotely manage all traffic lights. What you're seeing on the screen now is a virtual display of what is in the cabinet at the intersection via our traffic camera. At the first display, you can see this is our Model 170 controller. This is what we use as a standard in Kingston. So right now you can see all the visual displays. This is what exactly you see in a traffic cabinet. Beside it, you see a graphical representation of what is happening at the stoplight. So at the cameras, you can see two true movements and a turning movement, moving from green to amber to red. And now you can see the two turning movements start. So you can see two turning movements and a left turning movement happening right now, as well as a forward turning movement at the next part of the intersection. So the graphic can show you the plan, the status, the cycle length, offset values, traffic statistics. So using this, you can see if the stoplight is working efficiently or not. So this will tell us if the stoplight is down, off, in any problem or whatever. So before people have to call and report a stoplight is down, with this system, when everything is integrated, you won't have to. You automatically know. What you're seeing now on the screen is a viewing of Halfway Tree area, the Kingston metropolitan area, where we can now monitor traffic remotely. So before, to put up a traffic light, somebody would have to go months prior and record the traffic data to put up a signal. Now we can have somebody here remotely counting traffic, as well as several different other specialized cameras to count the traffic for us. So specifically, we can look at specific intersections, say for this one example. If we see the traffic is building up, we can allot more time to a specific intersection to allow the true traffic to flow.
We have well over 100 locations across the country where we have signals, and the number continues to grow because every year we look at new locations to signalize. The demand is quite high, and the demand grows with the numbers of vehicles that we are seeing on our roads.
Did you know that the EU has been doing a lot of work in Jamaica? The EU provided some 23 billion Jamaican dollars to help people living in sugar-dependent areas. This means new houses for sugar estate workers, rehabilitated roads, improved schools, health centers, vocational training, business grants, and a wide range of action to improve the lives of people in sugar-dependent areas.
Life sweeter for you with the EU.
With school back in session, we want to help you prepare each day. So here's a list of things that you can do from the night before the day. Number 1, ensure that you've packed your bags from the night before. That way you can avoid last-minute rush and trying to find things on school mornings. Number 2, see to it that all your assignments that are due on the next day are completed the night before. Number 3, sleep is absolutely important. We can't stress this enough. And getting enough sleep is a good way to start your mornings. Know your own sleeping pattern and ensure that you go to bed early enough. Number 4, set your alarms at night. If you know that you can't rely on yourself to get up when you should, or if there's no one to wake you, ensure that you set your alarm. Did you get all that? Great. Now remember, as you go back to school, take in all that you can academically as you continue on your path to making Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise families, do business, and yes, learn. As always, we want to thank you for staying with us on Jamaica Magazine. Do join us again tomorrow for what promises to be another informative edition. And just in case you missed anything at all, watch us again on our website or our YouTube page. And don't forget to keep up with us via our Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter pages. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Theodore Henry. Do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.